Warning, Prospect Watch is not your average hockey podcast, and that's okay with us. Our goal is to introduce you to stars in the making from all over the world. They may not be household names yet, but we assure you they will be soon enough. Welcome to Prospect Watch.
Hello and welcome to Prospect Watch, a podcast that focuses solely on the discovery and promotion of some of the best young talent in the game today from all reaches of the world. I'm your host, Lance Green, and of course, joining me is my co-host, Steel. Steel, how are you?
Oh, man, I'll tell you what, I'm doing good. How are you, Lance?
I'm pretty excited. I got to tell you, why don't you introduce this young man that's joining us right here?
Boy, we got a special one lined up for you this week here. Very, very special guest joining us, whose stock has been increasingly rising since turning in a magnificent performance this year for the Moncton Wildcats of the Q. This player, none other than my favorite defenseman available in this draft, Etienne Morin. And today, thank you very much for joining us. How you doing? It's truly an honor.
I'm doing good. Yourself?
We are doing magnificent, man. We are getting ready.
Perfect. Well, it's a pleasure for me to be here.
Well, it's great. And I got to say, you have some, you speak English very, very well for being a French player there. So that's awesome. You'll do real well in some interviews down here once you get drafted. So
that's perfect.
See, just think of this as like good practice, right?
Yeah.
There you go. I'm sure he's had plenty, as good as he is. So for those of you guys that aren't familiar with this young man right here, I'm going to get you familiar real quick, okay? Now, Morin is 18 years old. He's a left-hand shot, two-way defenseman who stands at 6 foot tall and 183 pounds. Offensively, this season, Morin has scored 21 goals and 51 assists for 72 points in only 67 games played. Folks, that makes him a defenseman who averages over a point per game. All right? But better still is his performance he just turned in the playoffs, where he totaled 17 points in only 12 games played, a 1.41 point per game average. All right. Now, Steele, I said he was a two-way defender, right?
Yep.
So let me tell you about what this guy is capable of doing in his own zone. Picking the blue line as his stronghold, Morin likes no one since Dion Phaneuf or possibly Scott Stevens in my mind is able to stand people up at that blue line, right? And absolutely put them on their butts, right? He is phenomenal in that sense. He takes that stronghold of that blue line and he holds it. He does not let guys go by him, which I think is a bit of a lost art in this day and age.
I think so too.
And I think that is going to be very attractive to some NHL clubs very soon. So in saying that, Morin was able to average a plus 29 average on the year. Very, very respectable in the Q this year. And, I think that is why he is possibly my favorite defenseman coming out of this draft class, guys. There is a lot of other draft picks this year that could go, that maybe have some offensive talents, maybe are good defensively, maybe have a strong outlet pass. But I think Morin is that guy that has all of those things, Steele, for me. And I think that's why we had him on the show. Is that correct?
I think so too.
Right.
I'll tell you what, here's the one thing that what I noticed very much about you, Etienne, was that your attribute of being able to, what do you attribute to being able to double your totals from last season? So what did you do between the seasons to kind of get you to where you are right now?
That's a great question because I trained hard during the summer, and right before leaving for the Elinka Gretzky, it's called, I got mono. So I was out for a month and a half. I got to training camp, 15 pounds short, and I wasn't physically prepared, but I got ready within a month, and I feel like what changed from last year is probably just the confidence as a player coming as a second year. I got some big roles as a 16 years old, so I was ready to rock when I went in Moncton, and that's what I did this season.
Awesome.
That's awesome.
I know. I think that's great. I mean, you have some really good skills as to, I mean, this is one of the, you're talking to an old goalie up there, okay, right? So Lance likes those defenders that know how to stand guys up at the blue line that are plus players, right? You know, so you're playing right into that goalie's hands.
Right. Checking off all the the check marks there for sure.
Exactly.
So now I've noticed you wear the number 5, and I know a certain player who is a former 4-time Stanley Cup champ and a 7-time Norris Trophy winner used to wear that number as well. So might I be right in assuming maybe Nicholas Lindstrom had a influence on you to wear that number?
That's exactly what it is. My dad introduced it to me when I was younger, and I just fell in love with this player. So it goes with Nicholas Lidstrom, but also the fact that I'm an 05. So I kind of picked it. Those were the two options why I picked number 5.
Awesome.
There
man.
you go.
Yeah, that's.
I mean, couldn't pick a better influence there to model your game after, for sure.
I mean, you mentioned your dad. Was he somebody that was part of your influence, part of what was help you to get to where you are today? Was he somebody that helped to drive you, or was he an influence on you to get to where you are right now?
Well, obviously, I don't think I'd be here if it weren't for him. So I'm thankful that he came in every day with a passion for me to play hockey. And I remember he wanted to play hockey when he was younger, but didn't have the money to. So I just have a passion for hockey now, and I'm grateful I can play it every day since he couldn't. And of course, he pushed me a lot, but at the end of the day, he never pushed me too much. It was my decisions. So like I said, he was just always there for me, and it's probably the biggest reason why I'm here today.
Awesome, man. That's great. I mean, those are the types of people that you need to have in your life to help get you to where you want to go. You know what I mean? And where I think you want to go is what we're talking about right now is this draft coming up, right? And I'm sure that you've been speaking to some scouts, right?
I'm sure want to know who they are.
No, you don't have to tell us that, right? But if you could give us maybe some of your best attributes and maybe something you think you could work on.
As a player,
yes,
my best attributes are probably, I'd say my hockey IQ. So everything that goes with poise with the puck, just being calm in small areas. I have a good first pass. My lanes of shots, I can find them because of my agility on the blue line. I have a great wrist shot, but what I have to work on is my explosion, my skating, my first 3 strides, creating a second gear, they call it. So it's definitely something I'm going to put into work this summer.
How about that, man? He's self-aware. How about that?
Yeah, that's pretty good. I mean, at least you know what you strive to work on. And I agree. All those parts of your game that you mentioned are things that I mentioned in an article that I wrote about you recently. So I think I sent it to you as well. So maybe you can take a look at that if you want. But okay. So in your game, I see a certain drive also that a few and consistency that few players have today. And, can you talk about like what coach or what, person along the way really instilled that in you and in your work ethic on the ice anyway? You mentioned your dad, at least, driving you in that sense, but, maybe a coach or somebody.
Yeah, well, obviously I've mentioned a lot my coach in the past. I left my house when I was 13 or 14, I think, to go to CIH Academy, it's called. So it's an international school, and I had a coach over there, Andre Savage, just helped me through a lot of the situations, made me prepare as a person, but also as a player for junior. So obviously it helped me a lot, and the same thing for my coach here in Moncton, Dan Lacroix, just helped me so much with being sure I'm prepared for the next level, and they gave me so much roles that I can't complain about it, and I'm really happy about it.
Awesome. That's great. As Lance knows, and you don't know, but I'll tell you, I used to be a personal chef. So I have to ask you, so what's your favorite pregame meal, right? And what is it?
This is gonna be weird because every player has a pregame meal, but I do not. I'm not a suspicious guy. Like I don't like to always do the same thing or have the same routine every time. But if I had to go with something, probably spaghettis, just pastas. I like it a lot, but like I said, it varies every day. I just don't mind it. I adapt to the situation. So if something happens or doesn't go the right way, I'm not like, oh, it didn't happen the way I wanted to.
Right.
So it doesn't play my head.
Yeah.
So.
Right.
Okay.
No,
yeah. If you didn't put your skate on the right foot first, you're not. Some of the players we talked to definitely have a ton of you know suspicions and stuff like that. So that's superstitions. So that's cool that you don't have those things weighing you down. You can just jump right in and get on the ice and do work. So
awesome.
Right.
Awesome. So one of these days we'll have to whip you up some pasta then.
All right.
Anytime.
Yeah, there you go. So with you and the Wildcats having such a great season this year, if you don't sign right away to an NHL club, and are you going to return obviously to Moncton next season and hopefully pick up right where you left off?
Yep, that's the plan for now. But like I always say, I just go day by day, and what happens will happen. And if I get cut off the NHL training camp, I'll just come more ready than ever for next year until I make it. So, but for now, it's the plan to go back in Moncton. Yes.
Yeah. All right. I'm sure that relieves your fans their worries a little bit, just in case. I think I would sign you right away, but who knows what team you go to, where they might see their depth. So that's great.
Exactly. And I'll tell you what, to be honest with you, this is one of the main reasons why we like to do these shows, because we like to get some exposure for these great players that we get to interview, and you are obviously no exception to that for sure, because you're one of the best defensemen that we've had on the show here. So we're really excited to see how things go with you in the future. And we talked a lot about what you do on the ice and everything like that. But can you tell us maybe like what we could find you doing away from the ice? Like, what do you like to do for fun?
Any other sports, honestly. My best friend is
Awesome.
a huge fan of golf, so I can say the adversity of it. He's really good at it, and I pretty much suck. So it's fun. It's fun to come in every day and just try to battle with him. You know, I can't keep up for now, but I'll catch up to him at some point. But honestly, any other sports, basketball, baseball, even ping pong, I can play. Just like the adversity of not being the best and just competing to get better. But obviously, I do watch some movies or TV shows. But I'm a quiet guy. I like to stay in my corner and not go out with other people. But like I said, any sports I can play.
Awesome. That's great, man.
Just an overall good athlete. Yeah, good athlete. All right. What did it mean for you to recently get to play for your own country over there in Switzerland at the World Championships? Or
obviously, it's an incredible experience. Just being able to wear the leaf and represent the country, like you just mentioned, is a big experience, and it's something for sure I'll remember for the rest of my life. And just going there in Switzerland, it's a new environment. It's so much different. It's super nice. Just we played on the Olympic rink as an example. When we played against the Slovakians, there was so much just atmosphere in the stands. So it was really a nice experience overall.
Yeah, because you got there late as well, right? You were still dealing with the playoffs in your own league. You got over there late, and from my understanding, you really shored up Team Canada because they had some struggles early in Sweden and stuff like that, and you guys were able to battle back and win that bronze medal. So that's great.
Yeah, well, exactly. I had time change too. That was hard, 7 hours. So I got there. I didn't sleep for a full 30 hours with the traveling, and I had to go on the ice. They also lost my sticks in Toronto, and I usually play with a P88. Now they gave me P92, so it's a banana. So I had to adapt myself a lot, but
wow.
I think it went well.
You see, I think that goes to show you, Lance, the adaptability and just the type of player that any team would be so stupidly lucky to get if they were to draft you, Mo, to be honest with you, because your versatility, the abilities that you have and being able to just pick up a stick and play and do what you need to do. You know what I mean? Those are intangibles that, they don't, a lot of people don't pick up on, you know what I mean? And so are you going to attend the draft? And if not, you are gonna?
Oh, of course.
Oh, yeah, buddy. We will be watching. By the way, I just want to tell you, you've been so impressive that I've been talking to Lance for, gosh, we've been talking about this for how many weeks, right? About you coming on here, or the potential for you coming on here. I have never seen somebody your age have the poise that you have the standing up at the blue line capabilities, have the shot capabilities that you have, and have a good pass. Okay. I'm here to tell you, man, you are the real deal. So thank you very much for coming on.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah, definitely a complete package there. So, we'll leave you at that. We don't want to take too much of your time, but in closing, we want to wish you all the best. We look forward to seeing you play at the next level one day real soon. And, whatever team that gets to draft you is going to get one heck of a player that's going to pay them dividends for, decades at least to come. So,
oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Well, thank you very much. And like I always say, anytime I love talking about hockey, I could do it all night long. So I don't mind at all.
Good,
because
don't
say that, because we'll hold you to it.
To come back.
We'll have to have you back on.
Right. That's so perfect. when you get drafted, right, we'll have you back on, right? And so that way you can tell us all about how everything went, right?
Perfect. Will do.
Awesome sauce, man. Thank you very much for joining us. This is Prospect Watch. I am your co-host, Steel, and of course our host, Lance.
How you doing, guys? Thank you for tuning in.
Thank you very much. And, of course, our esteemed guest, Etienne Morin, the best defenseman in the draft, available for 2023, the NHL draft. Thank you very much for joining us, sir. We really appreciate it. We'll catch you guys all on the next episode of Prospect Watch.